Hey y'all, how y'all doing? All right, so it's your girl Jamaica, as always, and I'm just sitting up here. I was thinking, y'all know I be in the car, I be riding. When I be riding, I be thinking. I've been at this light for like five light changes, so of course I was like, I might as well be talking to y'all. But I was sitting up here thinking about relationships. Y'all know I'm on this whole little kick about relationships and discovering, mainly discovering self. Like relationships, I think having relationships with other people is one way that you could discover more about yourself, learn more about yourself, your likes, your dislikes. Y'all know the whole spiel. I've been talking to y'all about this the last couple of days. But I was sitting up here and myself was talking to me, and myself says, Jamaica, and I say yes. Not for real, but that's kind of how it happens. But I was just sitting up here thinking, like, you honestly need to get to a point where um where you're finding people that you're trying to, whether it is to date or whatever else, who don't mind doing. Because I think part of me believes that love is an action word, and the lack of action shows the lack of love. And if you really sit and think about it, I know everybody has their own different beliefs, and you could tell me down below what you believe love is to you. But um I think love is all about action. Like, I'm one of those people who, when I'm really like love and love, love to be in love and loving people, like, you don't mind doing for people. And I haven't necessarily been reciprocated in a lot of the relationships I've had in the past. So as I'm rediscovering people and rediscovering myself, and um, on this journey to this new version of myself, right? The evolution of me. Um, I've really been, there's just been a lot of things that's been popping up. And y'all know, like, I've come a long way. Look, I've come a long way from a long way. But I told y'all, like, I'm really going to start dating and going to go through this discovery period of myself and journal it, right? And document it so that I'm able to maybe help somebody else along the way. Or even if I get to a place where I'm stuck, I'm able to rewatch a lot of this and just help myself. Like, the biggest thing is to help myself first. Y'all know that if y'all travel, y'all be on planes and stuff, that's what people tell y'all all the time. Like, help you first. Put your mask on first before you put somebody else's on, or try to help somebody else. So really, I'm truly and honestly, I'm doing all of this for me, as a documentation, like, for me. But going back to my thought process, it was real deal so much more about the other day, I think. Excuse me. The other day, I think I was thinking about this thought came across my head, and it was like, number one, you need to be in position, and right now you're not in position. The position that you've been placing yourself in, and when I say position, I mean physically too, right? The position that you've been placing yourself in has been in places, where you're meeting people, and they're nice people, nice individuals, but it's not where you at the end all want to be, right? And so you need to start putting yourself in places and positions that you find yourself wanting to be at your end goal, right? So if I'm changing who I am and becoming the better version of myself, that end goal version, that higher version of myself, what does she look like? What does she do? Where does she go? Okay, now that you know these things, go there. And it spoke loud to me when I heard it. It was in different words, but I've explained it to you that way because I think it's easier for you to understand, right? But get yourself in position. That was number one. Number two, it was prepare yourself for the position that you want to be in. So, like, even the way that I dress and I present myself to the world, that has been evolving and shifting. Like, when I was younger, I used to want to be the person who was always dressed up. Like, even my leisurely outfits, my leisurely clothes or whatever else, look sporty, look dressed up, like, look like you got a little Versace on and it ain't really Versace. Like, not to say it like that. I ain't saying like be like with the knockoffs, but I'm just saying like you just dress yourself up. Like, you get up, you do something, like before you go out, you put your, lately I put on little lip gloss, little lipstick. I put on some mascara, put on a little bronzer, because I don't think that necessarily like I gotta put on a full face of makeup, but doing a little light beat is definitely necessary and can be beneficial at the end of the day. But you want to, it's all about attraction. Like, people, even like people who go to the gym, right? You have people who go to the gym who work out all the time, and they're doing it for themselves. Some people it's for health wise or whatever, but that's not always the case. A lot of individuals do it because they tired of the life that they've been living, right? They're aggravated with the type of people they've been talking to. So in order to get the females or the males that they really want to talk to and deal with, they change their body structure, right? Either they go into surgery, or they go, do the different types of massages, or they go work out, and they get themselves to a place where the people who they want to attract are attracted to them. And like one of my guy friends, we were having this conversation, not this one in particular, but a conversation. And I think his assumption, like, because people meet you at different points in your life, but I think his assumption was, okay, well, you coming off, that I could be coming off thirsty, or that wasn't what he said. It was what I felt based off of the things that he was saying. But I was telling him, I was like, when you want to spend time with a particular person, that's the person you want to spend time with. There's no real need to be hanging out with any and everybody else. I was like, however, when that person doesn't have that type of time for you, available to you, or making that time, I was like, it can make you feel a certain way. And so, and I was like, in regardless if the person is really busy, because you have to be cognizant of what people do too. Like, I have the same guy friend. He's a very busy person, allegedly, to himself. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm a very busy person, but I feel like I make space and make time for that friend. But then sometimes I'll be sitting there talking to that friend, and I'll be like, friend, like, we don't really hang out like that. Like, we don't really chill like that. And you can't say that you're that busy. I was like, you have to, you make time for what you want to make time for. Like, it ain't that you have to do anything for me in particular. However, you make time for what you want to make time for. Like, our schedules are totally different. So I get there's a lot that we won't be able to do. I was like, but however, I say at this point in time in my life, I got more time on my hand, even though I'm busy. Like, I'm busy. I was like, but I make myself available to you, and I have more time on my hand to do so than I will in the upcoming 3 to 4 months. And then it made me started thinking like, okay, well, don't make time. Look, like, don't make time. Like, if you don't feel like he's making that kind of time for you or whatever, you're not feeling like an investment, then let it go. And I think a lot of times we have that dual play that's in our head, but it's like, but I really want to hang out with this person, like, this is who I vibe with. But at the same time, it's like, when y'all vibe, y'all do vibe, but that person's not in it how you in it. So back the fuck up. And I have these conversations, like, I'm very brutally honest with people that I talk to. I'd be like, listen, this is how I feel, this is what I think, this is what I'm finna do. And so I think, needless to say, on this drive that I just took, and I'm finna get out because I got to stop here and then I got to get back on the road. So I'm probably going to break this up into a couple sessions. I might start talking about something else later. But on on this particular subject, like I was just like, one, I got to put myself in a position with people who are more like-minded to myself, because even with this particular friend, I was just like, what are your goals? What are your dreams? Like, what do you have planned to do in this upcoming year? Do you have anything in mind? And it's kind of like, no. Okay, well, what books are you reading? What do you read? What do you do, for here? Nothing. Are we really on the same page? Like, I have to ask myself that, right? Are we really on the same page? Probably not, because it doesn't seem like you're ready to develop self, and I'm all about self-development and getting to the next level, and I'm not knocking you. But if you're in a place where you feel that you're not fully where you want to be, what are you doing to get to that next level? And if you're not taking action, which that's on one of my things that's now on my list, is that I have to be with somebody who's about taking action, because I want to be that person who takes action. Like I'm becoming that. And I need someone to match me in those areas. Not to say like you have to be fully perfect, or you have to be, like, I don't want to talk about like having like these false realities either. Because I got a lot to talk to y'all about as far as relationships and what I've been uncovering and understanding through my conversations with other females and with males and, whatever else. Because my homeboys be telling me like all kind of stuff. Like, I even had another homeboy who I was talking to about my friend, and he was like, you talk too much. He's like, you talk too much and you need to back the fuck off. Matter of fact, don't even call him no more. And I was like, but who, I was like, who wants to do that? Like, I'm not one of those people who, if I want to talk to you, I'm just, like, it don't work for me. It makes my energy bad. It shifts my energy, where like, I want to talk to you, but like, now I got to pretend that I can't call you because I need you to call me more and da 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 da. Like, no, if I want to talk to you, I'm going to call you. And if you don't answer, then you don't answer. And when, again, if it's another day or 2 days or whatever, when I want to call you again, I'm going to call you again. And then, of course, you can answer whenever. And I know y'all probably be like, bitch, that's stupid. Like, if a nigga ain't answering your phone after 2 calls, you probably need to leave him alone. That might be so. But also, that was during my toxic season. Toxic season has ended. So, like, clear-headed, level-headed Jamaica is here, and so she's a little bit different. So she gets over things a little bit quicker. And lately I've been on the, before I told y'all, I've been on this kick about deleting and blocking. I realized that's my love language. And I mean that for myself. Like, I love myself enough to delete and block, because at this point, if I'm deleting and blocking you, you clearly aren't serving a good purpose, and you're not adding value. And I watched this video too today, where the guy was talking about being fruitful. Like, the people in your lives, is it that they're bringing any fruit to you, or is it a barren relationship? And I think I needed that. That was alignment. It came right on time. And that's what made me kind of think about this conversation a little bit more too, about having people who are willing to take action, and that love, I always believe love was an action word. So now it's just, I think it just reiterated and hit differently, to the point that, like, if you can't do for me, you don't need to be around me. And I know people say, well, that's being selfish, or that's this and this and the third, but I'm a person who gives so openly and willingly to my friends and people I'm in certain relationships and stuff too. Like, don't come around thinking that you finna be my friend. I'm just finna be like, oh yeah, you can have whatever you like. I'm not T.I. That's not it at all. However, my friends know, like, and I don't even really want to say like I love hard. They know that I love, period. And with me loving you, I want to be able to share the experience. Like, we're having a shared experience. We're co-creating this life together. And that's with anyone that I'm in relationship to, right? So this could be just like my students. This could be the other teachers, whatever else. Like, when you come in a space with me, first off, I don't want to deal with no stress. like stressors come, but that doesn't mean we have to meditate on it. I don't want to deal with foolishness. I want to be able to communicate. I want there to be clarity. Sometimes even within communication, shedding up, being quiet is a part of communicating. It's its own language as well. I want to be appreciated in spaces, and so I'm learning to figure out what those things look like to me. How do I want to present myself to the world? How do I want to be accepted in this world, in a space with different people? A lot of those things have been just coming across to me and in my mind. So, like I say, I'm gonna have a whole lot more just talks and conversations here. But I think these are things that need to be discussed. So y'all stay tuned, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have some of these conversations with my friend. Like, I just took my friend, dropped her off to the airport, and we were kind of talking about some of this, and I think that's what made it settle into me a little bit more, into my spirit a little bit more, to be like, yeah girl. And it was nothing negative. Like, we weren't really talking negatively about anyone or something like that. It was just having these moments of realizations that, like, hey, this is what I desire, this is what I want, and this is how my life is going to be. Oh, let me tell y'all. So give y'all a small story. We went out last night. So I told y'all my grandmother passed yesterday, and so I went out with my friend, and we had a night on the town. We started out at we went to 3 different locations. We started out at one spot, had drinks and like an appetizer. Went to another spot, had drinks and food. And some guy was talking to her on the phone. And I was like, hey, you trying to cut in on my shared time with my friend. And that's a negative. Like, I don't mind that you talking to my friend. That's y'all business. But I was like, this is my time right now. And I was like, so are you going to be buying us drinks or buying us food? Like, are you going to provide, since you're interrupting our time? And so he was like, well, what you mean, da 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 da. I say, well, you can easily pay for our meal. I say, we've easily spent $100. I'm sure. And he was like, oh, that ain't nothing, da 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 da. I said, okay. I said, well, Cash App us. He was like, ain't nobody got no Cash App. You want Apple Pay? I was like, bro, it don't matter how you send it. Just send it. I was like, I don't understand. I was like, it's easily $100. We spent more than that, but at that particular place, I was like, it's easily $100. So, and he was like, oh, I got y'all. Don't worry. Da 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 da. Okay, cool. Plus, I was real pretty. When I be pretty, and that's the other reason why I was like, I gotta start really dressing up and stuff. Because when you dress the part, you feel that you put yourself in a place where you feel a level of deservingness. And deservingness is something that I have been practicing this year, and it's gonna continue on. Because I think that I deserve it all. And you should too. And I know somebody gonna come on and be, like, you conceited or whatever else. It's not that. If you could take it a couple of different ways, right? If I say that I'm a child of God, or I'm a child of the universe, or I'm a child of, this infinite almighty power, if I am that and I truly believe that, why shouldn't I have everything that I desire and want? Because I'm given desires for a reason, right? So why shouldn't I be able to receive all the good and great things that are placed here on this earth? And why shouldn't it be given to me without the need to do anything? And I know a lot of people always be like, people just want everything and don't want to do nothing. Okay, but why shouldn't I be able to do that? So if I change my mindset and my belief patterns to actually fully believe that, right? Not just say it, but to really fully believe it, feel it, understand it, see it, touch it, smell it, taste it, all these things, like, it should be able to manifest into my life. And when I'm dressed the part, when I feel the part, when I look the part, whatever you want to say, like, it's easier to accept those things. Because I think for some women, I know I myself had an issue with deservingness and with accepting. And like I said, I've been spending a whole year in a place of working through those things. And I've learned that you have to speak, right? You have to ask. And again, if you believe in the word in the Bible, it says, ask and those things shall be given unto you. So why wouldn't I? And so I've been asking, and it was little stuff at first. And this is something I teach in my class as well. You have to celebrate the little wins. I remember some boy was on the phone. I'm gonna get back to my story, but I remember some boy was on the phone. We were at the pizza place at right next door to the bar in the club, and he was talking to somebody on the phone. And he was like, "What do you want? What do you want?" And I just said, "Well, I really want some wings. If you're gonna get it for me." I was like, "What kind of wings are you buying?" He said the wings he was buying. I was like, "Yeah, I want those." And he was just like, "All right." And then like when he was getting ready to check out, I was like, "I thought you was giving me wings." And he was like, "Oh yeah." And he gave me the money for it. And I, like those were the little moments to teach me that these are actually true things if you have the conviction within yourself. And so same thing happened. I went out again, and I told one of the guys that was standing by the bar, I said, "You look like you want to buy me a drink." And I was like, "I want tequila. That's my drink, y'all, just in case y'all didn't know." And he just laughed. And he was like, "For real?" And I was like, "Yes." Which that's how it looked to me. And perception is everything, right? But it literally looked that way. Like, and probably because I was already drinking. I was drinking a little bit, and I had me a couple of shots, but I was like having a good time. And it kept looking like he was like, "What do you want to drink?" He might have been talking to his friends. I don't know. But I said it, and he actually bought me some tequila. Those are small wins, and I took them. And then I was like, okay, if this is it, all it takes is me asking. And I know because I've been living my life, and usually everything I want I get. Why can't I do this for the bigger parts? Like what has happened to me? What has happened to me to shift me to believe that I shouldn't be able to have these things? So let me shift back into that energy. And so, like I said, with my friend, we're at the restaurant, and I'm like, "Just send us $100, da da da." And he was like, "Okay, good, cool, whatever, like I can do that. That ain't nothing." And I'm just like, "Okay." And then my friend wound up paying for the meal. And then she sent like the little thing like, "Hey, the request for the $100," since he said he was gonna do it. And at first she was like, "I didn't think he was gonna do it, da da da." But even before we went out, I was like, we're gonna meet people who want to take care of us tonight. Like that was what I spoke into the atmosphere. And she was like, "Oh yes, I agree." Look, like touch and agree, like, "Yes, I agree." And so this morning on my way to take her to the airport, she was like, "Oh, he sent the $100." And I was like, "Yes, girl, like, let's get that money back." But I told her, I say, for the other money, because she was like, "Well, we spent this much." And she told me how much it was. And I was like, "Somebody's going to give you the rest." I was like, "Don't even stress it out." And she was like, "Oh, it wasn't a big deal, da, da." I was like, "Don't even worry." I was like, "Somebody's going to give you the rest. Watch." But even with that, it's activating her belief too, because she's hearing me say these things and she's watching it happen. And even when we went out, like I said, that was the second place we went out to downtown area, walking around, and people were buying us drinks and whatever else. And I was telling her, I was like, this is just my new belief, and my new belief is that I should be taken care of. I should be well taken care of, and I deserve it. And I deserve it just because I am, right? Just because I am who I am. And I'm just enjoying this time in my life, this space in my life. But y'all, the thing I came on here to say pretty much is just like, I'm journaling my relationships with others, my process of going through relationships. I'm journaling, and documenting my change and my shift and the becoming of what I've seen in dreams, right? And I think I'm gonna have so much fun watching this happen, watching this change happen. But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna see y'all later. I'm finna go in here get me some groceries before I get to my house because she's not cooking. So just a little FYI, if y'all look, here you go. If y'all ever in Kissimmee, let me turn this off. If y'all ever in Kissimmee, y'all want some Jamaican food, y'all can come to Ja Love. I am shouting them out. Now, listen. Now, I don't know who might be done took over by the time you get here. But back in the day, they used to be real good. So that's why I came here. It's another spot in Winter Haven, too. But I might save that for another day. But get y'all some. What is this? There go. Boom. Go on out here. Come out here. Get y'all some Ja Love. You ain't got to tell them I sent you because they probably don't know me. But y'all can show them this clip. And maybe they'll realize me later. I don't know. But yes, y'all, have fun. Live a life that you truly desire. I'll see y'all later.